Just as the colors, red is the lowest one and violet is the highest one. The same thing with the mind. The lowest part, we call it lower mind. And the highest, we call it higher mind. The lowest side of the mind connects with the world differently. And the highest, that is the higher mind, connects differently. The mind itself, from lower to higher, is hanging in between spirit and the physical, the worldly manifestation, the external. The spirit is the source of the higher mind. Without spirit, mind doesn't exist. Beloved brothers and sisters, lower mind and higher mind. Yes, mind can exist on levels. If you look at everything going on in this world, you see degrees. These degrees are vibratory degrees, frequencies. Colors, look at the colors in the rainbow. So the red, it is a particular vibration, a particular frequency. Now, as you watch the red in the rainbow, it is changing. And what is that change? It is a change in vibration, a change in frequency, and it becomes orange color. As you watch the orange color and you move your eyes forward, you see that also is changing. And then it becomes yellow. Then the yellow, you watch it, keep moving your eyes. Then it comes to green. Watch the green, keep your eyes moving. Then it comes to blue. Watch the blue, keep your eyes moving. And then that same rainbow, now you see another color, we call it indigo. Then keep moving still, and finally the last layer will be violet. So everything is moving in frequencies. And we can see the same with sound. Sound, sometimes you see, we use it in the voice, we say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. So you see, it is also going according to the same pattern from one to the other, then to the other, then to the other, until you get the 7. So in this layer issue, we're having a special number that is 7. Why 7? The actual thing is that it goes on and on and on and on beyond 7, but in the drama, the portion we are functioning in on the physical side, then we are given the 7 vibratory states. So the same with our mind. Mind is in layers, frequencies, vibrations. The lowest one of this mental frequency, the lowest point, just as the colors red is the lowest one and violet is the highest one. The same thing with the mind. The lowest part, we call it lower mind. And the highest, we call it higher mind. In between, there are layers of mind. And in fact, when we look at such vibratory things, each layer has something as a function. See, because it connects with the world differently. The lowest side of the mind connects with the world differently. And the highest, that is the higher mind, connects differently. Now let us make further analysis. The mind itself, from lower to higher, is hanging in between spirit and the physical, the worldly manifestation, the external. So, spirit is the highest frequency from where these things descended. So, from spirit, higher mind comes first, and then it reduces frequency to another layer. Then that layer reduces frequency to another layer. That also reduces. It goes on and on until we get lower mind. So mind alone, when we take it, it is also in layers. Now the whole mind, with all the layers, that also, if considered as one thing, it is also a part of a greater pattern, which is also 7. So the physical side is just one. And then we come to another layer in between the physical and the lower mind. We have the etheric, we have the vital, we have the astral, then we come to the mind. But the truth is that each layer itself, they are big layers, and in between they too divide into layers. That is why the mind is one layer, but it also has divisions of layers. It's interesting. Now, the lower mind is the closest to the external manifestation. That means the physical existence. And this lower mind is always having certain experiences with the physical world. See, in fact, it is the lower mind that energizes the physical. Without its function in the physical, there wouldn't be any activity noticed. I mean, we wouldn't be doing anything if our lower mind has nothing to do with the physical side of our existence. It energizes everything in the physical because it is higher than the physical. The next layer within the lower mind energizes the previous one, and beyond that also energizes the other one. It goes on and on. So the higher mind energizes all these other layers. And the spirit is the source of the higher mind. Without spirit, mind doesn't exist. Just like without your body, you can't have a shadow, because you are the one to have the shadow. So, if you are here right now, your shadow is on the ground. If you are to vanish, your shadow too is gone. But shadow can go whilst you are there. It's just a matter of shifting the light or bringing light all over you. If you are to shine all over you, there wouldn't be a shadow. It is lost. So it's just a phenomena. It's something that seems to be so. So, beloved, mind. The higher mind, being closest to spirit, has very high vibration. The frequency is very high. The lower mind, hooked onto the material part of things, the external, is very low in frequency compared to the higher mind. The frequency of red is very low in frequency or vibration compared to violet, which is the highest frequency in the 7 colors of the rainbow. See, so this is how the lower mind and higher mind are functioning. Now, our spirits, the spirit is the highest frequency, it cannot be less. But when it projects anything less, that thing doesn't have perfection. But the spirit has the perfection. So the mind is seeking perfection because it came from the source, which is perfect. But by itself, as it has come, it lacks something. So it becomes fulfilled, full again, if it can raise frequency, step up frequency, and then it will become one. It will not differ anymore from spirit. And that is what evolution means. And we begin the evolution of the mind from the lower mind. We raise the frequency of lower mind to the next frequency. And that tells where you have reached in your evolution. The next person may have the evolution of his or her frequency raised to the next layer, while somebody is using the first layer, which is the lowest frequency, the lower mind. The person who is using higher than that is more evolved. So anytime you hear people talking about advancement, wanting to advance, it's nothing other than that they move to use the higher layer of mind. When you see two people, all the time, some may be using the same layer. And when they are using the same layer, there is a law that brings them to attract. See, the birds of the same feather flock together. So sometimes people come together when they are using the same layer of mind. And yet we can move from the lower to the higher. And that is where you get closer to peace. The higher you go, the cooler it becomes. You hear it in science, and it is true in this matter. So advancement means moving to use the higher mind. So the closer you get to the higher mind, the last point of it, the more advanced we can say you are. So if somebody is using the higher mind, because spirit is absolute, spirit is all powerful, that person can exhibit power. Spirit is all knowledge. That person can express so much knowledge. Such a person is not to be worshipped, because the same layers are in you also. So you use the lower one and worship the one who is using the higher one. You have the higher in you, but you are not moving, you are not advancing. And this is the challenge that I'm throwing to you. And you need to make the effort so that you use the higher layer of mind. Once you are able to use that, that mind knows about tomorrow. That mind knows about the past. That mind knows about what is happening in a distant away. But the lower mind doesn't know these things. That is why it is called lower. It is lower in frequency, and everybody is using lower, and therefore we are lacking knowledge, we are lacking power, we are lacking peace, we are lacking love, and we are lacking joy. So in this way, these things increase when you move along the pattern to the higher mind. And finally, when you are at the higher mind, you are bordered with spirit, then you can declare, I and spirit are one. And there your frequency raises a bit, becomes spirit. It enters into spirit frequency. So this is it, beloved brothers and sisters. The things like fear, anger, jealousy, all these things, anxiety, they belong to the lower mind's interaction with the external world. And love, joy, peace, they belong to the higher mind interacting with the spirit at the other side. So it's the choice is yours, which mind to use. Thank you.